So why do so many of us get into trading? I mean, it's for the dream, right? That idea of control, of independence, and of course, financial freedom. But as we're about to find out, the road to that dream, well, it's probably not what you're expecting. Okay, let's get into it.
On one side of the coin, you've got the dream that pulls everyone in, total control and absolute freedom. But on the other side, you have the reality of what actually gets you there, just relentless discipline and a solid, repeatable process. Getting your head around that gap is pretty much step one.
All right, first up, the dream versus the reality. We need to talk about why most traders, frankly, don't make it. And spoiler alert, it's often not about the market being impossible, but about a few very common and very avoidable mistakes.
And yep, these are the usual suspects. So many people start with these wild, unrealistic expectations. They jump in with absolutely no plan and then let fear and greed take the wheel. They forget that rule number 1, 2, and 3 is managing your risk, and they get caught up trying to predict the future instead of just managing probabilities. But here's the good news. Every single one of these things is fixable.
This brings us to the real heart of the matter, you know? The enemy is within. The biggest, toughest battle you'll ever face in trading isn't with the charts or the news, it's with yourself.
Let's start with fear. Oh man, fear can just paralyze you. It'll make you freeze up and miss that perfect setup you've been waiting for all day. Or it can do the exact opposite. It can make you panic and snatch a tiny profit from a great trade, only to watch it run for hundreds of pips without you. And then, of course, there's its destructive cousin, greed. Greed is that little voice in your head telling you to risk way too much on that one sure thing. It's what makes you chase a price that's already left the station and completely ignore the smart rules you set for yourself just this morning.
And then we have impatience, and oh man, this might be the biggest account killer of them all. It's that constant itch, that need for action, that pushes you into trades that just don't meet your criteria. It just grinds down your edge, all because you couldn't sit on your hands and wait.
You know, this quote just nails the entire psychological fight perfectly. The market transfers money from the impatient to the patient. And here's the thing. Patience isn't some personality trait you're born with. No way. It's a skill. It's a muscle you build through discipline. The discipline to wait for your shot, stick to your rules, and just let your plan work. And a huge part of that comes down to how you see losing. Look, a pro trader treats a small, planned loss like a business expense. It's just the cost of finding out if an idea works. But an amateur, they take it personally. And that's how a small, manageable loss spirals into a catastrophic one.
Okay, we've spent a lot of time on the problems, right? Those inner enemies, fear, greed, impatience. So, what do we do about it? How do we actually fight back and get that winning edge that separates the pros from the rest?
And that leads us right here to the path of discipline. Now, I want you to stop thinking of discipline as punishment. It's not. It's a conscious choice to focus only on the things you can actually control, which are your own actions and your own process. So what's the goal of that process? In the beginning, it's got nothing to do with being right on every trade. Your number one job is just to survive. Stay in the game long enough for your statistical edge, your strategy that wins more than it loses over time, to actually have a chance to work.
So let's get practical. Let's talk about how we build this abstract idea of discipline into a real concrete system that you can actually follow every single day.
It all starts with a written trading plan. Seriously, write it down. This is your personal rule book, and it absolutely has to answer these 5 questions before you even think about risking a single dollar. 1. What are you going to trade? 2. What exactly is your signal to get in? 3. At what price will you admit you were wrong and get out? 4. How are you going to take profits? And 5, the most important one, how much are you going to risk per trade? A good rule of thumb is no more than 1% of your count.
Ultimately, this all comes down to a massive shift in your mindset. Are you treating this like a gamble at a casino, or are you running it like a serious business? See, a gambler is always chasing that one big jackpot and takes every loss personally. A business owner, they're looking for steady consistency, they treat losses as a simple cost of doing business, and they make every single decision based on a proven process.
So, your new business needs 2 fundamental tools. That's it. First, the trading plan. That's your constitution. It governs everything you do. And second, a trading journal. This is your performance review. It's where you track what you did, why you did it, and what happened. Because if you don't keep a record, you have 0 chance of improving. It's that simple.
Okay, let's wrap this up by bringing it all back to that idea of true financial freedom, because as we're about to see, it's not about living a life with no rules at all.
Here's the paradox. True freedom comes from mastery. It's the freedom you feel when you know, deep down, that you can and will follow your own rules, no matter what the market is doing, no matter how you feel. That self-control, that is what creates consistency. And consistency is what creates the freedom you were looking for all along.
And this right here is the path. It starts with discipline over your actions. That discipline then gives you control over your process. That control eventually leads to consistency in your results. And that consistency over time is what finally grants you freedom. You see? Each step builds on the last. You can't skip ahead.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to really think about. What is your definition of a good day in the markets? Is it a day where you made money, even if you had to break all your rules to get it? Or is it a day where you followed your plan perfectly, to the letter, no matter what the final profit or loss was? Because your answer to that question, well, it will define your entire future as a trader.